All right, so we're now looking at a system of 4 equations and 4 variables. This is as far as we're going to go, so I'm not going to go up to like 5 equations, 6 equations, 7 equations, right? This is just to kind of get you thinking through what process would you apply. I've seen quite a bit of your guys' work on the homework problems. Those of you who have already started on these 2 homework problems that you have, you seem to have the right method. So think about when we had a system of 3 equations, we solved for one of the equations, plugged it into the remaining 2, and simplified the problem down to a system of 2 equations, 2 variables, right? Same thing goes here. You have 4 equations. You're going to knock it down 1 step at a time. So you're going to first try and get this system of 4 equations down to 3 equations, 3 variables, and then from there you should know how to solve it based on what we've done. And that's all I'm going to do on this problem actually is get you through that first bit to the system of 3 equations, and then I'm going to assume that we know how to solve a system of 3 equations. You could go from there. You do this exactly the same way that you did your system of 3 equations and knocking it down to 2. So you pick one of your equations and you solve for one variable, plug that into the other 3, right? For this one, probably the easiest one I'm seeing is just the top equation. Easy enough, right? So if I take that top equation and I solve it for my variable x, I'm going to get x equals 4 minus y minus z plus w. Okay? And then I'll be taking that and plugging it into the equation, the x's in the other 3 equations. So my goal is to take that and plug it in here, here, and here. Okay, for some reason that last one's not showing on up there. I hope that I didn't just mess things up. I lost my connection, that's why. Hold on. So our Wi-Fi has been super spotty and it's really annoying. Oh my gosh. If this happens all day, I'm going to just about lose it. All right, we appear to be up and running again, I hope. Oh, except for you guys, not so much for you, huh? Hold on. Why are you not connecting? There we go. Okay. So like I was saying, we were plugging into these 3 variables. That's where I lost it before. Let's hope that the Wi-Fi stays connected now. So let's plug it into those 3 equations and see where it takes us. For the first equation, if I plug in, I get 3 times the quantity x, which my x quantity is 4 minus y minus z plus w. And then I'm going to have my plus y minus z plus w equals 4. Okay, I'm going to try and simplify this all out kind of in one step. You guys might write it out in more, but I'm going to end up distributing this 3 in. Hi.
Go ahead.
Oh, are you just...
No, I just wanted to give you something, but
okay,
you can finish.
All right. So kind of all in one step, I've got variables w, z, and y. So let's combine all of our y's first. I'm going to have a negative 3y once I distribute that in. Negative 3y plus y will leave me with a negative 2y. Right? And then for my z's, I've got negative 3z once I distribute in, minus z will give me negative 4z. All right? And then I'm going to have, for my w's, positive 3w plus w will be plus 4w equals, and then I'm going to have 3 times 4 is 12, and I'm going to be subtracting 12 from 4, which will leave me with negative 8. So there's one of my equations. All right. For my second equation, I'm plugging into the third equation in the given. So I've got just plain old x, which is going to be 4 minus y minus z plus w, substituting in. And then we've got minus 4y minus 4z plus 4z, thank you, plus 4z plus w equals 7. Okay? Again, I'm going to try and kind of simplify this all in one step. So if I'm looking at my y's, I've got negative y minus 4y is going to be negative 5y. Okay. For my z's, I've got negative z plus 4z is plus 3z. For my w's, I've got regular plus w is plus 2w. And again, I'm going to try and take care of my constants all in one step. So I'm going to take this 4 and subtract it from this 7, which will give me positive 3. And I've got one more to go. All right, so for that last equation, we've got negative x. Make sure that you distribute that negative all the way through our thing that we're calling x. So I'm putting parentheses around this so that I don't accidentally forget to do that. It's just like distributing that 3 in on the first equation. Minus y plus z plus 5w equals 10. Simplify it out. So for the y's, we're going to end up taking this negative in to this negative y to become positive y minus y. So I actually lose my y's there. For my z's, I've got positive z once I distribute the negative in. I've got positive z plus another z is going to be 2z. For my w's, I'll have this negative comes in to make negative w plus 5w is plus 4w. And then we've got a negative 4 is going to add over to the 10 to become positive 14. All right, so this is kind of where I'm going to leave you. Your next step would be to take a look at the 3 equations that we just came up with, and I'll write them out so we can see them. But the 3 equations that you should have at this point are negative 2y minus 4z plus 4w equals negative 8. And then we had negative 5y plus 3z plus 2w equals 3, and 2z plus 4w equals 14. And so this is where I'm going to leave you, because at this point I'm assuming that you guys have gone through the process of solving a system of 3 equations plenty, right? And so at this point it should be pretty easy. I would probably solve this equation for z and plug that z into these 2 parts would probably be the easiest way to do this one. Solve it down, and then you're just working your way back up. So I would, if I did that, I would find y and w. I'd plug y and w into this equation right here to find z. And then once I have y, w, and z, I'd come back over to one of these equations and plug in, or I guess this equation up here, to find x, right? So it's just kind of that solving backwards process. Does anyone have any questions about where you would go from here? And your process would be the same. Let's say that I was really mean and I gave you a system of 100 equations, 100 variables. Your process would be start with an equation, solve for a variable, plug it into 99 remaining equations, knock it down to 99. Then you would go to 98, 97, yada, yada. Now, obviously, nobody wants to do that by hand, right? And that's what we're going to start looking at is, well, we have computers who solve this for us. How do the computers do it? Using kind of the process that we're using here by knocking it down one variable at a time. We're going to look into that system and then be able to do it on the calculator eventually. All right?